Are you considering renting a car through Turo but aren't sure about how the insurance works? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain everything you need to know about Turo's insurance, including what it covers, how to file a claim, and the tips for making sure you pick the right coverage. Watch now, and we're going to start showing you the next adventure that's going to be a peace of mind. As a Turo host, it's important to understand the truth about Turo's insurance. In this video, we're going to go ahead and go over everything you need to know, including the different types of coverage, how to work the whole system with the gaps that may be in there, the tips to maximizing your protection as a host. Don't miss out on valuable information that will help you make an informed decision when it comes to having success on Turo. Before we start, I want to drop something right here. Want to stay ahead of Turo's next move? Then I need you to hit the subscribe button for the latest news and tips to maximize your earnings as a host. As a seasonal host on Turo for over 4 years, I experienced fleet boostings of 90% booking rates. I've navigated the platform's atrocities. I witnessed the evolution of firsthand, and I'm here to share my knowledge with you on its impact as being a host. You want to turn your car into cash cow? With my program called Car Share Genius, you're going to be able to discover the secrets to maximize your earnings on the platform. You're going to learn how to optimize your listings. You're going to be able to have high-paying customers and build a thriving car empire. Now, how do you do it? The first thing you need to do is this. You need to go ahead and enroll. Once you enroll, you're going to be exposed to proven strategies for boosting your income, expert tips on vehicle selection, maintenance, insider knowledge on navigating Turo's platform. You don't want to miss out on this. This is something that's going to really turn your car into a cash cow. This is going to lead to you having a fleet just like me. This is going to actually change the way you do things. I have students now that are no longer bound to a 9-to-5 job, struggling to pay bills, struggling to put food on the table. This is going to change the way you do things. This is going to actually show you how I'm doing things, living in another country, getting paid on a semi-passive income. So guys, what are you waiting for? Join Car Share Genius today. Again, it's called carsharegenius.com. Don't miss out, guys. This is definitely something that you need to look into. Let's go ahead and talk about Turo's protection plans. Turo does not have insurance, they have protection plans. And these plans are ranging from the most protection to the least protection. So the first thing that you want to look at is the 60 plan. The 60 plan is where it's the most protection that it has to offer. Now, I want you to take this in consideration here, because when they offer the most protection, they take the most money too. So it's kind of like a compromise. I want the full protection. I do not want to pay deductible. I end up only getting 60% of my trip. That's why it's called 60. I only get 60% of my trip earnings because I decided to get the 60 plan. And it covers up to $750,000 in third-party liability insurance. This is for all hosts. They're automatically cover up to $750,000 in third-party liability insurance. Turo pays 100%, again, 100% of damage costs. There's no deductible. It also includes exterior wear and tear reimbursement. This also includes loss of hosting income during the repair or $50 a day replacement for vehicle reimbursement. Now, we're going to talk about all of them at the end as far as the pros and cons and where you should be at. So let me go to the next one. The next one is the 75 plan. This is where it's 75% of the trip's earnings is in your pocket. This is one that I actually use here. Up to the same thing as far as all vehicles are going to be $750,000 third-party liability insurance. You do have to pay a $250 deductible, and they give you a 30-day replacement on vehicle reimbursement during repairs. This does not include exterior wear and tear. This does not include lost income during the repair. So you got to take that in mind when that comes into play. I will say this to you guys, that it's still going to be able where Turo is going to cover you 100% with eligible damage costs above the deductible, meaning that if it goes beyond the 250, for example, they're going to be able to take care of everything minus 250. You got to take out the 250 out of your pay that you're supposed to get for your vehicle damage, and then you're left with the other ends that help. So basically, if it's going to cost you, whatever amount it is above 250, you just pay that 250, and at the end, they're going to cover the rest. We're going to go with the 80 plan next. Here's the 80 plan. 80 plan is such: earn 80% of your trip, up to $750,000 in third-party liability insurance. Again, I already say that. Same thing with 100% with damaged crops above the deductible. Now your deductible is $750. $750, guys. So if you're not in the position to do that, or you don't feel like you should do that, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no replacement with your vehicle reimbursement doing this repair, and this does not include exterior wear or tear reimbursement. This does not include loss of any income doing a repair. So you lose these things, right? You lose these whole, I'm gonna take care of your vehicle, it's gonna be covered, don't you worry about it. It's just, hey, you're not gonna get a replacement vehicle. That's not gonna happen. With the 85, more money is required to be coming out because you get more money. So 85% you're gonna get in your pocket, up to $750,000. We're gonna keep saying that. 100% damage cover, but your deductible is $1,625. That is $1,625 per deductible. No replacement for your vehicle reimbursement doing this repair. This doesn't include exterior wear and tear, and this does not include loss of income while your car is getting fixed. The highest plan is the 90 plan. This is the one where you got the big kahunas, as they say. This is the one with the highest risk. You take 90% of your earnings from your trip. You still get the $750K, you still get 100% the damage deductible, but your deductible is $2,500. Again, no replacements. Doesn't include for replacement vehicle, wear and tear, or loss of income. So when you're looking at this, if you're looking at the 75, 80, 85, and 90 plan, according to Turo's website, you're not getting the whole 30-day replacement for your vehicle, reimbursement doing repairs. You're not getting a wear and tear reimbursement. You're not getting any income coming in as your car's getting fixed. So you got to take that into consideration if you're actually going to do this. Now, for me, I would say this: if you are risk averse, meaning that you can't take a whole lot of risk, then go with the 60 plan. But to me, I think you're doing so much work dealing with these customers just to only get 60% of your money. That can be difficult, right? That can be difficult for you to swallow when you're saying, hey, I'm doing all this work, I'm cleaning cars, I'm doing insurance, I'm doing all these things, and this is the only thing I'm being able to bring in. I don't want you to be in that position. I always recommend a 75 if you're able to afford it, because 250 is not a lot. If your cars are bringing in $1,000 a piece or more, it's a drop in the bucket. If you go with these other ones, you definitely want to think about that, because if you got cars, for example, because it can go either way. If you got a car that basically, hey, it can take a hit, I don't care. It's just going to be one of those burner cars, meaning that you're not really putting much stock in it. It might be an old car. You might only be making X amount of money a day on it, maybe less than $35. It may be a 2001 Toyota Corolla. And he's like, well, if that one gets hit, I really don't care. I'm still going to get everything, and I still wouldn't even risk that. But if you got money to blow like that, you can go for it. But to me, honestly, I would just stick with 75, maybe 80 if you wanted to, if you're starting out here. So the next thing that I do want to talk about is this: damage and theft reimbursement. Turo does offer different protection plans, which we just talked about, with various levels of coverage for physical damage and theft. Deductible. Hosts are responsible for deductible amount, which varies by these plans that we already talked about. and reimbursement limits. Now, I did mention this part, but Turo's reimbursement is capped at the actual cash value of the car of $200,000, whatever is lower. With earnings and deductibles, a higher percentage of trips price often means a higher deductible and fewer reimbursements. So what that all basically means is that, hey, if I got a trip that's going yay high and I have an accident taking place, that higher deductible, right? That $2,500 deductible, you are going to have fewer reimbursements. So they basically telling you, if you want to go with the 90 plan and you want to be reimbursed, and you got the 2,500, they're like, well, we're not going to reimburse this carpet so many times. So you got to take that into consideration, because they're basically pointing you to where they want you to get. If you're going with the highest protection, they're going to be patting your back. If you go for the lowest protection, they're going to be trying to push you away, meaning that we don't want this person to get it. Even if you got everything set and you're willing to put your stuff out there, they're really going to be like, you're not going to tell you how many reimbursements you can get if this car is in X amount of accidents. They just might be like, hey, that car is considered a loss. And God forbid, if you're starting off new, you don't want to have that situation. So it's very important that you choose the right plan based off your risk tolerance, based off your financial needs, and making sure you select the right thing here. We're going to be right back. I have something to show you right now about what my students are doing.
Hey guys, so I finished this incredible course on getting into the peer-to-peer car sharing business, and I just had to share my experience, because before Car Share Genius, I was honestly lost. I didn't know how to list any of my cars, set competitive prices, or even handle bookings. So the course broke everything down into simple, easy to follow steps. It's packed with tips from industry experts, so covering everything from optimizing your listing to providing top-notch customer service. So I felt confident and prepared every step of the way. I got my first booking within days of finishing the course. So if you're ready to dive into the car sharing hustle and start making money, this course is exactly what you need. So trust me, it's worth it.
Car Share Genius is amazing. As a new host, this course helped me boost my bookings and get more exposure. Now I manage my fleet remotely from anywhere in the world. Luke Brooks is a fantastic teacher. This course truly changed my life. If you're serious about success, enroll today.
So some common questions that come up to me in regards to Turo. Do I need to own insurance? Yes, you do. Now, this is the odd part about it. If you're renting your car out like this as a business, a lot of these insurance like Allstate, State Farm, USAA, Progressive, they don't like what you're doing because that's too much risk. I want to rent my car out for business use, peer-to-peer, because they don't know the person, don't know their record. They just be like, no, that's too much. And they actually will cancel your insurance. This happened to me when I very much started out a few years ago. They said, wait a minute, what are you doing with the cars? And I told them at front this was for business, but they was thinking I was just doing delivery or whatever it was, and I didn't never say that. And once they found out I was doing Turo, they said, no, we bought both your insurance and A, B, C, D. I was very mad, but it was temporary because I went with another company, and there's other companies out there. I use Tint. Tint actually allows you to do this with your vehicles, allows you to actually have your cars be used for rentals. So when your insurance is being used, is when the vehicle is not currently being rented. When your vehicle is being rented, you fall underneath the protection plan. So you got to know the difference right there. And you want to make sure your cars are insured. You don't want to be riding around with your cars on lapsed insurance, because when that happens, you start paying fees. Trust me, I know. Again, like I said, I've been through the atrocities. Now, I do want to note too, be careful when you're talking to your insurance company. If you want to find out, don't mention that you plan on putting the car in there. Find out exactly what their policy is about you using your car for business and what businesses qualify for it, because they may let you have it on there depending on who your insurance company. With me dealing with Allstate, they dropped me like a bad habit when I mentioned that. You doing Turo, they heard that, they was thinking, oh, you're just letting people rent out your cars and we don't know who they are. That's it. So you got another thing that I want to point out to you is the vehicle protection plans. They are offered by Turo and only through the trips that they're booked on Turo. If your vehicle is damaged, When it's not on the trip, you need to file a claim with your own insurance. Again, if your vehicle is not on the trip, you're using your own insurance. Next question that I got was, what happens if my vehicle is in an accident? I'm currently in that one right now. This is not my first accident, guys. You see me smiling because things like this will happen. This is not a if it happens, when it happens. You have to be ready for it. This is what you need to do. In rare cases that your vehicle is involved in an accident during a trip, your guest needs to report it immediately. With my guest that I'm currently dealing with right now, they just contacted me and I said, you need to contact Turo. Everything needs to go through Turo. If you notice damage at the end of your trip and your guest hasn't reported yet, you need to report it to Turo. You need to go to Turo.com/resolutions and get that resolved as soon as possible. This is why it's important when you get your car back within the first 24 hours, you need to start taking pictures, you need to start documenting if you see any type of damage. And what I mean by damage, if damage is greater than 3 inches, they will put out a ruler to make sure they're looking at 3 inches. So if you've seen something greater than 3 inches, they're gonna step in and be like, hey, we need to go ahead and get involved, especially if a vehicle has been in an accident. To ensure eligibility for a reimbursement under a protection plan, hosts must follow the following things. You need to take your 24-hour picture before and 24-hour picture after each trip. Just go in the app, you take the picture, you upload it, it's all done. Also, once you notice this damage, you have a time limit. You have 24 hours to report the damage. You need to contact Turo and make sure that they know that you have issues. Now, I have a question for all you guys out there and ladies out there. If you're currently on Turo right now, what are the biggest challenges and successes that you experience as a Turo host? Share your experience down in the comments below. If you made it this far, guys, I have to tell you something. I want to congratulate you. I want you to do me a favor. If you can, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and check out these videos over here for more information. You want to know more? Check out these videos. Again, my name is Mr. Luke M. Brooks. I see you next time. You take care, guys.